Recently, support for the Scottish independence movement has grown rapidly. Within the next few years, we could see the dissolution of the United Kingdom and the formation of a brand new independent Scotland. The Scottish independence movement has existed for many years. Scotland was an independent nation throughout the Middle Ages and was only united with England in 1603, when the Scottish King James VI became the King of England, politically unifying the countries. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, numerous campaigns fought for the return of Scottish self-government. Then, in 1997, a referendum was held to determine support levels for the creation of a Scottish Parliament with devolved powers. 74.3% of the population voted yes. With the consent of the UK government, 2 years later, in 1999, the Scottish Parliament was founded. Since then, the Scottish National Party, a pro-independence and pro-EU political party, has taken control. In 2007, it became the governing party of the Scottish Parliament, and by 2011, it had won an outright majority of seats. This emergence led to an agreement between the Scottish and UK governments to hold a referendum in 2014, asking Scottish citizens whether or not they wanted to be an independent nation. However, only 44.7% of voters answered yes, with 55.3% preferring to stay in the UK. These results established a firm conclusion: Scotland would not gain independence. However, since then, the political landscape has transformed dramatically. In 2016, the UK voted on the Brexit referendum, which questioned whether the UK should leave the European Union. 51.9% of UK ballots voted in favor of leaving, initiating the Brexit process. However, in Scotland, where Brexit is less popular and immigration is more welcomed, 62% of voters opted to stay in the EU. This created a sense of frustration with many Scottish citizens, and as a result, the independence movement expanded. Then, in 2020, the movement surged. On January 31st, 2020, the UK officially broke apart from the EU, finalizing the resolution that so many Scots opposed. Then, the coronavirus pandemic spread around the world. The UK's response was far from ideal. In March, the UK downgraded the virus's threat level, lowering the requirements for masks. Meanwhile, reckless policy allowed for the virus to spread among older patients. By the first lockdown on March 23rd, the pandemic had already gained a grip on the nation. Since then, the UK government has reversed many of its decisions and, along with its citizens, have failed to prevent the spread. As of January 2021, the UK has over 80,000 confirmed deaths, more than any other country in Europe. The UK's response to COVID-19 has frustrated many Scottish citizens. In October 2020, a public poll found that 58% of Scottish voters supported independence, a record-high majority vote. The Scottish National Party, including its leader Nicola Sturgeon, has incorporated this into its agenda and is now running for the May 2021 parliamentary elections on a platform of holding a second independence referendum. If the party does well, which is expected, it will pressure the UK government for a second vote. The UK government is not having it though. The current Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, has repeatedly refused the idea. In addition, it's not universally popular at home. The Scottish Conservative, Labour, and Liberal Democrat parties, which currently hold 58 collective seats in the Scottish Parliament, along with around 40% of the population, oppose independence. 2021 will be an important year for the movement. The government in London will almost certainly resist another referendum. Ultimately, though, it cannot resist the will of the people forever. If current trends continue, we could see a fully independent Scotland within the next decade. This new nation would drastically transform the region's political and economic landscape. First of all, its independence would break one of the closest political bonds in the world today. UK and Scottish citizens would likely need passports to travel between each other's countries. In addition, the UK economic system would be severed. especially between Scotland and England. For example, the North Sea oil fields would be under the control of Scotland, providing a plentiful source of tax revenue. However, this would cut the UK's oil tax revenues by almost half and serve as a significant blow to its economy. In fact, Scotland's secession would decrease the UK GDP by over £160 billion, approximately 7% of its economy. The UK would also lose about 5.5 million people, approximately 8% of its population. If it gained independence, the Scottish government would need to be completely remodeled, and a new constitution would have to be drafted. This new government would have many issues to resolve. First of all, it would have to decide which currency to use. If it continued using the pound, it would likely have to sacrifice all control over the currency. However, if it changed to something like the euro or a new currency, it would have to tackle nationwide financial reforms. Other issues would be dealing with Scotland's share of the UK national debt and managing the country's spending deficit. Lastly, the government would have to deal with newfound risk. There would be no larger union to dampen the effects of a dive in oil prices, an economic recession, or a natural disaster. On the positive side, though, Scotland would have greater self-representation and would have more freedom to reform its nation and pursue policies in its interest. For example, it would have the freedom to try and rejoin the European Union and remove the nuclear weapons based in the Firth of Clyde. The independence of Scotland would change the UK political system. The Scottish National Party would disappear from Westminster, giving more influence to the already dominant Conservative and Labour parties. In addition, the UK's flag, the Union Jack, would be outdated and probably redesigned. Lastly, if Scotland were to prosper, it would inspire other independence movements. Northern Ireland would possibly follow suit, joining with its southern neighbour into a united Ireland. In addition, it could inspire Wales into fighting for sovereignty as well. In review, the Scottish independence movement is expanding rapidly and could lead to Scottish sovereignty in the near future. This video was a collaboration with the channel That Is Interesting, which provides awesome content on geography, history, and politics. They just made a video about the UK's crown dependencies. Check it out and subscribe to their channel from the link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, it would be amazing if you like and subscribe for more videos very similar to this one. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.